Win through your actions, never through argument. The core message is simple. Stop wasting your breath. Stop trying to intellectually batter people into submission. If you want to convince someone or win a debate or prove your worth, don't say it. Do it. This law saves you energy, preserves your relationships, and is far more effective. But tell me honestly, how many arguments have you actually won that genuinely changed the other person's mind? Exactly. So let's break down the psychology behind this law. Why is arguing so ineffective? It boils down to human nature and a concept called ego defense. When you argue with someone, you're not just challenging their idea, you're challenging their intelligence, their judgment, and their sense of self. So, as soon as you launch an aggressive argument, their defenses go up instantly. Their brain stops trying to process your logic and starts constructing a counter argument. You've triggered their inner teenager, the one who automatically says, "No, you're wrong." Well done. The more forcefully you argue, the more deeply they become entrenched in their original position. You might win the battle of words, but you'll almost always lose the war of influence. That's something that Sun Tzu would say. Green says, people believe what they see. Actions bypass the emotional defenses of argument. When you simply demonstrate the superior result, the observer doesn't feel personally attacked. They just witness a clear, undeniable truth. For a clearer example of winning without argument, let's look at Abraham Lincoln during the American Civil War. Lincoln faced a constant, frustrating barrage of arguments from his military commanders, particularly early in the war. Generals like George McClellan were brilliant organizers, but endlessly cautious. They would argue their superior strategy, delay attacks, and constantly lecture the president on why their passive approach was correct and his push for action was premature. Lincoln, who had as a smart being read 48 laws of power, rarely engaged in lengthy counter-arguments or personal feuds. He recognized that arguing with McClellan would only make the general dig in deeper, bolstering his ego by having won a debate against the commander-in-chief. What would have been the point? Instead, Lincoln simply let the actions, or lack thereof, of his generals play out. He let McClellan continue to meticulously train and argue, and the result was clear: stagnation and failure to defeat the enemy. The generals proved their own incompetence through their inaction. Lincoln's ultimate action? After the results, the visible lack of progress and lost opportunities became undeniable to everyone, including the public. He quietly replaced them with more aggressive and capable commanders. By letting his generals' results speak for themselves, Lincoln never had to endure a personal, ego-driven battle. He won his point that decisive action was required, not by telling them they were wrong, but by waiting for their actions to demonstrate their own failure. Could any argument have been more persuasive than the collapse of a campaign? This move saved his relationships with other key political figures and cemented his power as a leader who relied on results, not rhetoric. Imagine you're trying a new personal development habit like meditation. Your close friend is a skeptic. They view your new interest with suspicion. Maybe they are just jealous. However, how will you defend yourself? So you have two choices. You argue with him over a pointless discussion, waste time and energy to end in the same place as before. Or B, you jump into demonstrating. Execute your plan in silence. Let your personal pilot project yield undeniable results.